Good morning. Welcome to your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We have mild conditions out there this morning, but breezy winds, so it doesn't really feel as mild as the temperatures are reflecting. Same temperatures this morning, already in the lower to mid 40s here at Wallops. You'll see those temperatures peaking out today in the upper 40s before we see a downward trend in our temperatures for the late afternoon hours as a cold front will be moving through the Wallops region for later on this morning into the afternoon hours. Looking at our surface analysis as of 9Z this morning, as I mentioned, we have a cold front that's currently across the central portions of the Mid-Atlantic region this morning. It's going to be moving through our region for late morning into the afternoon hours, and that's going to provide us with a switch in our winds from a west-southwesterly direction this morning to a northwesterly direction for this afternoon. It will be quite gusty for the afternoon hours. We already have a wind advisory out this morning for winds that are greater than 25 knots. That'll remain in effect most likely until the late afternoon hours when we see our winds start to decrease as high pressure builds in from the west and from the north. Looking at our surface observations from this morning, we have, as I mentioned, temperatures in the lower 40s this morning. That's going to be the case throughout the late morning hours, and looking at temperatures rising into the mid to upper 40s for the early afternoon hours today. We do have a little bit of light precipitation across the northern portions of the Mid-Atlantic region this morning. That's going to move off to the north of the Wallops region. We'll just see a band of lower to mid-level clouds moving through our region for the late morning hours, and that'll keep our skies anywhere from partly to mostly cloudy for the late morning hours. And then this afternoon we'll see mostly sunny skies building in as high pressure starts to move into our region. Looking at our current weather as of 8 a.m. this morning, we have a broken deck at 9,000 feet. Winds out of the 240 azimuth at 16 knots, gusting to 26 knots, temperature 43 degrees, and relative humidity at 49%. Looking at our risk chart for today, we have a red for our winds this morning at or greater than 25 knots, and orange for this afternoon until 1600 local. Seeing those temperatures peaking out around noontime at 48 degrees, and then afternoon we'll see temperatures decreasing to 46 degrees by noontime. So just before noon we should see that high at 48. Moving on into the late afternoon and early evening hours, we'll see our winds out of the northwest at 13 to 18 knots, gust to 27, decreasing by 1600 local to northwest at 10 to 15 knots, gust to 23 knots. And then by this evening into the early overnight hours, we'll see our winds become lighter out of the north-northwest and finally north overnight at 5 to 10 knots. Our temperatures will decrease quite quickly this evening, seeing temperatures near freezing by 8 o'clock this evening. Then overnight we'll see a low of 26 degrees, so it will be quite cold as we wake up for Friday morning, seeing our temperature anywhere from about 26 to 28 degrees by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, with a north-northeast wind at 4 to 8 knots. Looking at our 24-hour terminal forecast, currently we do have that broken deck at 9,000 feet. A likely scenario, we go scattered at 9,000 feet from now till 10 o'clock, and then after 10 o'clock we'll see a scattered deck at 6,000, scattered deck 8,000, scattered deck 25,000. This afternoon we'll just see some mostly sunny skies, and then by this evening we'll see increase of cirrus cloudiness. By 1700 local we'll see a broken deck at 25,000 feet. Overnight we'll see an increase of cloudiness as a area of troughiness and low pressure starts to develop off the Carolina coast. That's going to allow for some clouds to move in our region. We'll see it scattered at 4,000 feet, broken deck at 15,000 feet, broken deck at 25,000 feet, with a chance of a ceiling at 4,000 feet at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Our tides are currently normal. And looking at Friday into Saturday, Friday we're going to have cold conditions as a area of high pressure off to our north allows for a colder scenario for the Wallops region. We'll have mostly cloudy skies. The area low pressure develops off the south. A chance of some snow showers with that area low pressure developing off the Delmarva coastline for the late afternoon, evening hours. Looking right now, we're not going to have any accumulation issues. Possibly a little bit of accumulation on the car tops during the late afternoon, evening with some snow showers in the region. The best chance of any accumulation, and that would be little if none, little accumulation, would be north of Salisbury for our Friday afternoon into Friday evening, We'll have a high of 38 degrees on Friday, and we have a yellow for precip. Looking Friday night, we'll have cold temperatures, partly cloudy skies, a low of 29 around midnight, and then temperatures will actually rise in the lower 30s during the overnight time period. Then for Saturday, we'll have mostly sunny skies, chilly temperatures, and a high of 46 degrees. That's going to complete the daily operations weather brief at 8:15 this morning. We're back at 10 o'clock to look at the next 7 days.